Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a video for you here today from Men Only titled When Women Finally Realize That Their Friend Zone Men Have Moved On. This is an absolutely hilarious one. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments, and let's just jump right into it.
I broke no contact.
Welcome back to the channel, fellas. Today, we're diving into a topic that has modern dating dynamics turned upside down. Men flipping the script while women spiral. For years, certain behaviors and expectations have dominated the dating scene, but now, men are rewriting the rules and making their own choices. This shift is leaving some women frustrated, confused, and rethinking everything. Stay tuned as we unpack why this is happening and what it means for relationships going forward. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more eye-opening discussions.
Okay, I need to have a rant, but what the fuck is with the dating scene in Australia right now? Like, no one wants to commit, everyone just wants a situationship, everyone just wants to talk online, like chronically online. Like, as soon as it comes to like organising a date, gone, they ghost. Or like, I'm not even a catfish, like you can see me, I look like my Instagram photos. Do all the guys, are they really insecure or...
So first of all, I'm not interested in going to your Instagram. Second of all, just because men don't want to date you and take you seriously doesn't mean that they're insecure. And third of all, guys, I find it very funny when women complain about men not wanting to date them. I've seen this so many times recently, guys, where women will say this crap. They will jump on the internet and be like, well, men aren't dating me. You know, I just feel like everybody wants situationships. Meanwhile, the average dudes who would give her a relationship, she doesn't want to give them the time of day.
Do they just don't want a girlfriend and just want to be like children forever? Or they commit to you and then find something better online from Instagram, or they have Hinge or Tinder still on their phone and then they cheat on you, but then want you back. I don't understand. Commit? Not to commit? Do I bother? Become asexual?
Here's the thing. Men are done. Period. Exactly this video will explain. It's not rocket science. Just look at what's happening around us. Men are constantly being labeled insecure, childish, or worse. Yet, at the same time, we're expected to shoulder every responsibility, provide stability, and somehow endure this endless cycle of being undervalued and disrespected. What's wild is the contradiction. On one hand, women are out here calling men insecure for setting boundaries, or children, because we're not bending over backward to cater to unrealistic expectations.
This is absolutely hilarious to me, by the way, is because women will pull this kind of shaming language crap. You know, they'll be like, oh, men are insecure, men are this, men are that. But they fail to realize that this actually doesn't help you get a man. If anything, it makes it way more difficult because you can't shame men into trying to have a relationship with you. That's really what it boils down to. You can't shame men into getting with you or dating you.
One thing that I stand by is that the relationship will only work if the guy likes the girl more than the girl likes the guy. And let me break it down for you. So for a guy, it's important to him how he feels in the relationship. So obviously he needs to be in love with the girls because that's how he should feel. But for a girl, how the guy makes the girl feel matters for her. So when a guy is in love with her, he would literally do anything for her. So then it makes her feel like appreciated. So that way she's like, okay, like I like him. So then he needs to like be obsessed with the girl. So the guy won't leave the relationship as long as he loves the girl, and the girl won't leave the relationship as long as she feels loved.
You people are just so awful. You know what I mean, guys? When women make videos like this, I don't even think that they think it through, man. And the funny part about it is, like, if you have a woman who's out here and she thinks that she, you know, is above the guy, or perhaps he is not, you know, she's been with a bunch of dudes before who are better than him in a bunch of different ways. Oftentimes, she's going to feel entitled to better, right? Whenever I see this happening, guys, is women will get on here, they'll say this crap, and then they won't pursue dudes who are quote-unquote on their level. They're not even interested in men who don't make as much money as them usually, or who don't meet her attraction level thresholds and things like this. I find this very funny, guys, because again, women are going out here and they're just straight up chasing dudes who are, you know, who are quote unquote above them. I don't think people are above one another, but I just mean in the metrics that women find relevant, you know, like income, finances, how tall you are, how attractive you are, social status, and so on. Let's continue into the next clip.
If a man wants to be a big man, he needs a big wallet.
Okay, and what else?
If a man wants to be dominant, he needs money.
Okay, go on.
Look at this woman's lip filler, by the way. Like, how much work do you think this woman has done on her face? Like, oh, if a man wants to be a man, he money, 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 me, 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 me. I don't hear anything else in these videos, guys. It's just all about what the women want. And I find it funny when they've had like plastic surgery and augmentations done to their face. Again, a lot of guys will see this and they'll be like, that's nice. And then they'll just completely ignore you.
Man wants to be head of the household, he better be paying for that entire household, because you know it's not his leadership skills that are doing it.
I'm noticing a theme here.
If a man wants you to take care of him, he better have the money to make sure that you have the energy to do so.
So it's just about money, is it? Okay.
If a man wants to be pampered, he better make sure that you don't need to spend your time working so that you can pamper yourself first during the day.
It's really nice to see that money is still the all-motivating factor in relationships, at least for some.
Do you see where I'm going with this?
Oh, I think we can all very clearly see where this is going. But just to reiterate, what's it all about?
The answer will always be that he pays.
I noticed with a lot of these takes that some of these individuals seem to have something in common. They don't want to be treated as equals. No, they want to be treated as better than their partner. And they feel, it seems, that the man should just be grateful for having a woman in his life. Well, I think a lot of men out there would be grateful for having an equal partner and not a sponge.
Here's the thing. It's wild how the double standard plays out, isn't it? Women are out here writing the how-to manual on what it means to be a man, how to act, how to feel, how to provide. But the moment men even suggest what they value in a partner or offer a perspective on women, they're labeled as toxic, controlling, or worse.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, all of the definitions that, you know, these women provide for what makes a real man, it's always something incredibly self-serving. Even if it's not about money, it's usually about like giving her attention, you know, planning everything, doing all of the chivalrous moves and so on and so forth. It's all about, okay, in order to be a man, then apparently you need to provide directly to the woman in some way. And if you don't do these things, then you're not a real man, you know?
The craziest thing just happened, and I need someone to tell me I'm not crazy or I'm not in the wrong. So I met this guy 5 days ago, and we never really met in person. We've just been texting, and he was off the bat a really nice guy. But then I realized like he would do this thing where he would basically like blow up my phone if I didn't answer him within like 5-10 minutes. Like I didn't send him a text for like maybe 10 minutes, and then I looked at my phone and I had like 20 texts from him, and it would be like, hey, where are you? Did something happen? Hey. And I realized like he kind of was obsessive over me. And
yeah, so I'll take you know, this never happened. This never happened. Oh, this man was, you know, he was, so the translation here is this guy was highly attractive, and now she's making a video. When she says nice, I don't believe what she means is nice. I just believe she found this dude physically attractive. And now she's like, oh, well, he was blowing up my phone. I guarantee you this woman is just giving us a half truth here. Like, yeah, maybe he was blowing up her phone, but I think it's within the realm of possibility that this woman like just pretended like she got in an accident or something, and then the dude's blowing up her phone. You know, I noticed that women do this half-truth crap when they make these TikTok videos, man. It's like they want you to believe one thing, so they twist the story to match whatever it is that they're talking about.
it was really weird because I've never met this guy. Anyways, this guy was like, I'm gonna marry you. You're the woman of my dreams. And like, he's talking about all these things that we're gonna do, spend our summer together. I don't know. Anyways, he made a plan for today of us going out. And he was like, oh, we're gonna go out at 4 o'clock. And he said this to me like 2 days ago. So today, this morning, I asked him, I'm like, oh, are we gonna meet today like at 4 or 5? And he's like, yeah, maybe. And I was like, what do you mean maybe? Okay, like, what do you mean maybe?
Yeah, so here's the thing. She's pissed because this guy You know, she thought she was going to get the whole treatment from this man. She thought that she was going to have her Chad come along and be Prince Charming and do all of these things and pay for everything and plan things and marry her and so on and so forth, only to realize that this guy truly didn't give a damn. And just by the way, women like to pretend like they're bamboozled by this crap, like, oh, I didn't realize, well, you know, this guy manipulated me, when it was just painfully obvious to everybody else, you know?
And he's like, I can't control traffic. It might be 5 o'clock. It might be 4:30. Like, I'll let you know, like, closer to the time. And I was like, what the hell? What the actual hell? You made this plan. You made this plan for us to see each other. And now you're acting like I'm the one begging to see you. And then I don't know, what really irked me was like him saying, I can't control traffic. Like, I can't control when I get there. I'm like, that's not normal to say to someone. Anyways, and then I was just like, I'm not okay with that. Like, you need to tell me a set time so we can meet there, right? Like, that way I would know when to leave. And then
I'm not okay with that. But guys, you know, what's the bet this guy just like is no longer interested? Let's see.
First time he starts going off on me. He's like, you're making me angry. Like, I'll be there when I can. Like, I can't control time. I can't control XYZ. And then he blocks me. He blocks me on everything. Okay, he's like, the last text he sent, he's like, enjoy, go out with whatever guy you want. I don't care. And then gone.
Here's the
okay, so here's what I think happened, man. The woman started to be difficult because she's like, no, it needs to be this exact time. You said this. I won't stand for anything else. And then the dude was like, okay, peace. And then he just bounced. And so what she did was, because she got rejected, because she got blocked, because she got ghosted, now she has to get on the internet and make this video trying to claim that like he was a weirdo and he was the psycho one. What it really boils down to a lot of the times is just that the women get rejected, and so then they have to make these videos trying to shame the guy and make themselves feel better. But really, they just can't cope with the rejection whatsoever, so they just come out here and do character attacks. Let's continue on to the next clip.
Years, every husband that I have ever met that's loyal, stable, consistent, loving, super nice, will do anything for the family, anything for her, anything for the kids, constantly self-sacrifice himself and his own well-being for her, okay? Every single husband that I know in that category has been left, has been cheated on, has been heartbroken, or has been divorced, okay? Now, over the years, every single husband that I've watched who moves the exact opposite, meaning he does whatever he wants, he doesn't really care. Maybe he's at the bar 3 or 4 nights a week, he's drinking, he's smoking, she can never get a hold of him, he forgets to charge his phone is dead, she can't get a hold of him, he forgets to reply to the text message, he's out shooting pool with his friends, right? Then he's out over at this sports bar hanging out, and the wife and kids are never really a priority. I have watched these wives consistently chase and pursue these men's validation and stay with these husbands year after year after year after year, staying with them despite constantly complaining about them. What you have to understand with female nature is you have to look at her actions and where she's putting her time. And even if she says, oh, I hate that he's this way, I hate that he has these traits, I wish he would be more responsive, I wish he would be more emotionally available, I wish he would be more emotionally open. Despite her saying those things, you have to look at it this way. If year after year she's still with him, that guy that she's complaining about is doing something right.
You know what? I to an extent, I agree with this man, because I've seen the exact same thing, right? Over and over, you see these women chasing these exact same types of guys. You know, the exact behavior that the women are complaining about usually is actually the behavior that they're going out there and seeking in men. And I have nothing against, guys, like, I don't have anything against these traditional behaviors of, like, you know, putting your wife first and putting your family first and things like this. But oftentimes, like, there are so many women out there who don't actually respond to being prioritized in any capacity. It's really messed up. So even the dudes who want to go out there, they want to have a traditional relationship, you know, they want to look after their wife and care for her and things like this. Man, a lot of these guys just get completely used. It's not even funny. Like, they just completely get treated like absolute trash. It's crazy. Let's continue into the next clip here.
Has anyone ever thought of the fact that they might not get married in this lifetime? Because the way my relationship life is going, I am too comfortable being single. The men of this generation, The men of this generation, Jesus, men can lie. Men can lie. They lie for no reason. Jesus.
And I find these videos so funny. Like this woman sitting here and she's like, do you ever think that maybe, I'm not going to get married? And it's like, yeah, of course you're not going to get married. You're a complete psycho and you're chasing the wrong dudes. Many of these women, they will end up like nobody's going to marry them. It's going to be a very rough day for them and their cats. Let's continue.
I broke no contact. You don't feel better once you do. You do not feel better after saying your piece.
Here's the thing. This woman is out here, crying her eyes out on the internet because she broke no contact. And honestly, it's kind of wild that we've reached a point where people are publicly broadcasting what should be private struggles like this.
I mean, let's be honest. Realistically, it's the women who are doing this. I don't see videos from men of guys coming out here saying crap like this, making these videos. The main reason is, number one, men really aren't interested in doing it. And number two, even if men did do it, nobody would give a damn anyway. If dudes came out here and they made videos like this, man, the internet would just absolutely clown on them. Women release videos like this over on TikTok because they know they're going to receive validation, attention. Most people are going to be in their corner and supporting her and so on. It's all done for validation.
Now, breaking no contact is tough. No one's saying it isn't. It takes self-control to stick to boundaries, especially when emotions are running high. But let's not forget, the whole point of no contact is to heal, reset, and move on. Breaking it just drags you back into the same emotional chaos you were trying to escape from. And the kicker? She's crying online, looking for sympathy from strangers, when she could have saved herself this heartache by staying firm in her decision.
Yeah, so what happened was she got in a relation, she was hooking up with Chad, she was hooking up with this attractive guy, and she said, you know what, enough is enough. I can't get commitment out of this guy. We're done, we're through. And so she, quote unquote, breaks up with this guy, even though she doesn't have a relationship with him. And she says, no more. I'm going to go find the real man of my dreams, one who will commit to me. And then what does she do? She goes back out there, she contacts him again, and of course he still wants nothing serious, and so she's here crying alone in her bathroom. That's really what it boils down to, guys. Women, this is what I'm talking about when I say that these women always go back to these guys. Is like, yeah, they say, no more, I'm done with the bad boys, I'm throwing this guy away, I'm prioritizing myself. They always go back, and when they do, they make these videos of themselves crying, because the man hasn't changed, right? Obviously, he's not interested in committing to her. And so you end up with these women crying all over the internet.
But here's where it gets interesting. Why is she even putting this out there for the world to see? Is it really about her feelings? Or is it about validation? Because let's be real, publicly airing your emotional laundry isn't helping you heal. It's just fueling the cycle of attention-seeking. The reality is, this is a perfect example of the emotional inconsistency that drives men up the wall. You make a decision, you set a boundary, and then you go against it. Then when it backfires, the tears start flowing, and it's somehow everyone else's problem. No contact isn't just about avoiding someone else. It's about respecting yourself. Breaking it is like ripping off a scab. It's going to hurt, and it sets your healing back. And the truth is, this cycle of emotional overexposure and lack of accountability is why so many people are opting out of the chaos entirely. To the men out there, if you're dealing with someone who can't stick to their boundaries and constantly seeks validation, walk away. Protect your peace. And to anyone crying online about breaking no contact, maybe turn off the camera and focus on yourself. Healing happens offline. Stay strong, stick to your boundaries, and stop looking for answers in the wrong places.
Women, we really need to start being politer and more respectful when we reject these men. Now, while I am not justifying a single mad thing men do, I do think as women we need to be aware that we are contributing to the toxicity of this dating environment. Being nicer would take us a long way. And I'm not talking about men nice, where they're like, smile. All right, baby, leave me alone. I am talking about a man who is not your type for whatever reason approaching you because he thinks you are attractive, beautiful, look good, whatever the word is. And a lot of women's response to that is very rude. It's very dismissive. It's very patronizing. Now, no individual wants to be embarrassed, full stop, period. But men are created with such pride and ego, even if they don't always show it, that kind of humiliation can affect a man differently.
Yeah, guys, because men just have such big egos. So here's what it really boils down to. This is funny because the reason why this woman is saying this, you might think, oh, well, she's just being a good person. Let's go out here and let's treat men nicely. You know, if we're going to reject a man, let's do it with some kindness, okay? Let's not be a-holes about it, that sort of thing. You might think, well, that's a sensible take. This woman is being sensible. But the reason, number one, she doesn't care about dudes. That's not why she's doing it. Number two, she's accusing us of having big egos. Like, okay. And then what it really comes down to is the reason why she's saying this is because she needs men to continue to approach her. And what happens when you treat men like trash is they stop approaching you and they stop giving you validation, right? You're essentially biting the hand that feeds, okay? Because it's all very well and good to, you know, treat that guy like trash. But what if it's a man that you really want to approach you and he doesn't approach you because you've been an a-hole to the rest of the guys? And this actually does happen because men, they sit there and they can see what's happening to other guys. Well, I don't want to approach women, man, because they're just treating dudes like trash. And so the men that these women really want, they stop as well. They stop entirely. And so women come out here with these videos, and make no mistake, it's not because they care. It's not because they're trying to be kind. It's not because they're trying to be respectful. It's self-serving, because when men stop approaching, she no longer has access to the types of men that she wants to have access to. And she no longer receives the attention and the validation she does want to receive, regardless of whether it, you know, where it comes from. Because women will still take the validation from the unattractive guys too. They still want that validation.
And we have seen this play out in the extreme on the news and social media, where women are getting fisted up, followed, attacked for not giving a man their number and, you know, being polite about it, trying to diffuse the situation. I'm not talking about that. All the men in those situations absolutely need to be buried underneath the jail cell. Like, to be clear, you are crazy. Nobody owes you anything. And that woman must have clearly had discernment to not want to give you her number, because clearly you was fucking doolally. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the sane men, not the crazy men. But women, there are a lot of us who, when these men who are sane and just have positive intentions in terms of find us attractive and want to move things forwards with us, there is a way that we are interacting which is making those men walk away feeling small. And nobody should be feeling small when the intention to speak to you was positive. Because whether or not you want to pursue things with that man is approaching you because he thinks you're attractive. That is a positive thing. Well, at least it's not a negative thing. But what we don't realize happens is a lot of men, especially when they're younger, they experience these negative interactions when they're trying to pursue women who are not interested in them. And the shame and the humiliation of the interaction, because of the way a lot of times the woman has handled it, leaves him feeling upset, angry, hurt. Shake that around, add a pinch of bitterness, and boom, you have the red pill community. Side note, I didn't even know what the red pill community was until a couple of days ago. I think I still don't know what it is. What is it? Just like men who hate women and just think they're better than women?
Yeah, see, this is the part, guys, where you understand that the women, you know, they make these videos and they say something that makes a lick of sense. And then they just, you know, they just show within 2 seconds that they don't actually care about men. You know, they don't care about the feelings of men. They don't care about the struggles of men whatsoever. It's all like, oh, you can't get women. You know, you don't like women. You're a horrible human being. And they come out here and they just throw insults and whatever. I mean, it's absolutely nothing new, really. But the thing is, a lot of the insults are just completely inaccurate, right? A lot of the guys who come to certain conclusions, man, some of them are highly attractive. Some of them are highly attractive. They have a lot of success with women. Some of these guys have been married and stuff before. And yet you'll come out here and call them things like eye cells and so on and so forth. The real struggle that these women have, man, is you know, you can't say crap like this and then think it's going to change anything, because the men can tell that you simply don't give a damn, right? Trying to insult and shame men into doing what you want them to do is not a good strategy, right? I'm not even talking about whether the insults are correct or not correct, because a lot of the insults are just incorrect anyway. But just purely from a logical sense, if you want men to do something like approach you, marry you, invest in you, do all the chivalrous things, you actually kind of have to give a damn. You know, like at the end of the day, you really do. You actually have to care. But so many of these women don't. And so the dudes just go, you know what? She doesn't even care about us, man. Right? She just wants to approach us to approach because she has something to gain. Like they still don't actually care about you. So the men just go, you know what? I'm bouncing, man. I'm not particularly interested in this. She's just going to use me for free attention. She's going to use me for free validation. She's going to insult me if I don't do it. Like, what the hell is the point of even doing it in the first place?
Okay. But yeah, men won't tell you, but a lot of them are shaped by this interaction, and their anger and hatred towards women often stem from these kind of interactions.
No, actually, what typically comes out of them is men just become indifferent. You know, like, yeah, it might hurt the dudes when they're younger, but later on, they're just going to be like, I'm not really interested, right? I have nothing to gain here. It doesn't come from a place of hatred or disliking women or something like this. In fact, a lot of the reason why men don't actually approach women anymore also is to do with self-preservation. Not wanting to catch a court case, not wanting women to accuse him of something that he didn't do. It's actually a safety concern for a lot of guys. But it doesn't boil down to, you know, hatred or something like this. The men just don't want to approach you because they don't think that it's worth it. Again, she's putting a lot of words in men's mouths here. She doesn't actually listen to what men say. She doesn't give a damn about how men feel or the actual reasons why men don't do things. She just says, oh, man doesn't do something for me. It must be just because he's hurt and and then she'll throw out a bunch of insults. But the problem is, it doesn't really work. You know, the insults towards men just don't work anymore, guys. They really don't.
And women will operate like this and wonder why men don't like women and men hate women. And yes, I don't think it's a full-blown justifiable reason. However, it doesn't stop it being a reason just because I don't necessarily agree with it. And I always think there's accountability on both sides. So men, I think you need to get therapy if you feel like this. Like, you genuinely are letting pain, rage direct your life. That's can't be good for you.
Yeah, guys, you know, you don't approach women. You don't approach women, you must be angry and you need therapy. Like, what in the hell is this? Yeah, guys, you just need therapy. Please go out there, continue approaching women. It's just because you're angry and you need to receive therapy. No thanks. No thank you. You know, and they just assume that the men are angry, by the way. A lot of these guys, they're just not interested. They're indifferent, man. They're a bit tired of the nonsense. They're tired of the BS. It's got nothing to do with being angry. You know, half of the dudes that watch this channel, man, they're like over the age of 35. You think really they have the bother to be angry a lot of the times? They're like, I just don't want to deal with this. I've got my motorcycle, you know, I've got my hobby. I go out there, you know, I build model trains. I just don't need the headache. That's really what it boils down to. Yeah, there are some dudes. Granted, there are men who are definitely frustrated with women. But a lot of guys is just simply past the point of caring, particularly the older men too, I've noticed.
Also, there's just nothing wrong with being a positive person and having positive interactions with people and not making people feel bad about themselves, especially when the intention was to compliment you. And just also to our sisters who have lost their lives at the hands of these kind of men, women, we need to be aware that some of these men are crazy. They have fucking lost it. Let me be real. So I would just always is that how you say it? On the side of safety. That's the truth, mental and physical. Because whether or not these men should be doing it, of course we know they shouldn't be being violent because they're rejected. They shouldn't be being abusive. They are. Like, they actually are. So we need to be careful. And again, I'm not justifying the psychos, like the crazy people. I'm a woman myself. I'm scared of them too. But what I am saying is there's nothing wrong with when you're engaging with the gender that you actually want to date, even if you don't want to date that specific man. There's nothing wrong with putting positivity out there. There's nothing wrong with putting good energy out there, because I definitely feel like the dating game currently has like a very dark cloud over it. And I think both men and women need to work on that.
Yeah, guys, you know, men, we just need to go to therapy. Apparently, that's the solution. Men need to go to therapy, and women need to be nicer when they reject dudes. You know, like it's a step in the right direction for women, right? I'm not saying that women have to accept dudes. It doesn't really bother me, man. Women are entitled to reject whoever the hell they want. But again, these women oftentimes complain at the end of the day that they still can't find their good man. I find it absolutely hilarious. Guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there, you know, because we're just too angry, and obviously we have to make time for therapy. So we're just going to be leaving it there. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.